In a year that began with a blistering hot start that defied all expectations, and in a year that produced history, over a dozen walk-off wins, breakout seasons, and many great moments, we dared to dream as Yankees fans that it could end with a parade down the Canyon of Heroes. But once again, the ride has come to an end early. In this video, we'll recap the regular season, what went right and what went wrong, and then we'll go game by game through the postseason and examine how it all went down. And then next, we'll talk about the roster and management headed into the offseason and imagine what moves the Yankees could make to take their next steps towards championship number 28. This is the Yankees Postmortem.
Don't cry for me. I'm already dead.
After the debacle that was the 2021 season, a lot of things actually went right for the Yankees in 2022, beginning with a walk-off single by Josh Donaldson on opening day and an historic 49-16 start through the team's first 65 games. Jose Trevino came from out of nowhere to become an all-star catcher, replacing Gary Sanchez for the cost of one Albert Abreu, whom the Yankees got back a few months later. Nestor Cortez Jr. proved that his 2.90 ERA in 2021 over 93 innings pitched was no fluke. In 2022, he had a 2.44 ERA, made 28 starts, pitched 158 innings, struck out more than a batter per inning, and was phenomenal. DJ LeMahieu was pretty good when healthy. He had a great first half, but injuries wore him down in the second half. His defense continues to be a huge plus because he was a great defender at multiple positions. Again in 2022, offense bounced back a little, but not quite where he was a few years ago. We had some young guys take steps forward. Ron Marinaccio was a tremendous asset out of the bullpen, and Oswaldo Cabrera made a late-season splash to inject some life into the roster, and he looked great at multiple positions. Oswald Peraza also came up in September and was great on both defense and offense, hitting over 300 and showing some power and speed. Paul O'Neill said he could be a 2020 man, and I agree. Garrett Cole is one of those guys who fell into the category of both what went right and what went wrong. He put up another healthy season, and he set the Yankees single-season record for strikeouts, but he also gave up a career high in home runs, and his ERA went up again. Anthony Rizzo is another guy who was a little bit of a mix. He had a career best in home runs, but he also only hit a bit over 200. Defense was good, had some difficulty staying on the field. Injuries were a problem with the back. And I think it's fair to say that Gleyber Torres, with a hot September, kind of saved the way that we look at his season. He got off to a really good start. He almost made the All-Star team, but then he had a really bad August, and that coincided with the Yankees going 10-18 in August, so it wasn't a good look for Gleyber Torres. He had some mental lapses, he had some hustle issues, but overall, he had a nice year. And I have to admit, I was skeptical after the way that Jordan Montgomery pitched with the Cardinals, but Harrison Bader ended up being a very nice pickup for Brian Cashman. So to Brian Cashman, I say, you were right, I was wrong, you're the best, I'm the worst.
You're very good looking, I'm not attractive.
And Aaron Judge, I think it's fair to say that he had a decent regular season. He hit 62 home runs, drove in over 130 runs. One of the best, probably top 5 offensive seasons in Yankees history. You have to put him up there with Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth. Mantle had a couple of better seasons in the mid-50s, but it's been a long time since anybody's put up numbers like Aaron Judge did this year. Now, he struggled at times in the postseason, but the offensive numbers during the regular season were bonkers. He hit over 300, 62 dingers, 131 ribbies, 425 on-base percentage, and he even swiped a career-best 16 bags. So Aaron Judge just with a dynamic type of offensive year.
Oh, you got to hope Michael King's okay. This is not a good sight.
This is not good.
So what went wrong? Well, let's start with injuries, which have hampered the Yankees a lot in recent years and plagued the Bombers again in 2022. Mike King was leading the American League in WAR for relief pitchers when he broke his elbow throwing a pitch and had to miss the rest of the season. Giancarlo Stanton once again missed significant time due to multiple injuries, which has become a regular occurrence since he joined the Yankees. Anthony Rizzo, despite his big power numbers, missed time periodically with a recurring back injury. Luis Severino was looking like he had bounced back, and then he went down with a shoulder injury in the middle of the summer. Chad Green, a valuable bullpen piece for the past several years, blew out his elbow and had to get Tommy John surgery. Miguel Castro missed a large portion of the season, and Clay Holmes, after dominating the first half, suffered a back injury and inconsistency in the second half. And even Andrew Benintendi, acquired at the trade deadline, went down with a hand injury in September. Even Matt Carpenter, who came out of nowhere and hit like Babe Ruth for about a month, fouled the ball off of his foot and had to miss the rest of the regular season. Now let's talk about underperformance. The Yankees have in recent years put less importance on batting average and contact hitting than they do on overall on-base percentage and slugging ability. However, while this strategy consistently puts the Yankees among the league's best in home run totals, it can also lead to long droughts on offense and trouble hitting with runners in scoring position in key spots. That's been the problem for the Yankees for almost 2 decades. The Yankees began the season with Joey Gallo as their left fielder, and he was a joke. Josh Donaldson is a shell of the hitter that he once was, which was mostly obvious at the time that the Yankees traded for him. Aaron Hicks couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, acquired as part of the Josh Donaldson trade, had his moments both on offense and on defense, and he definitely wasn't as good as we were sold defensively and provided pretty much zero power on offense. To say that Frankie Montas was terrible after being traded from the A's to the Yankees would be an understatement. He was putrid, he was atrocious, and he was hurt. The Yankees went just 10-18 in August, their worst month in over 30 years, as their offense went completely AWOL and their bullpen suffered some late inning meltdowns. Ultimately, though, the Yankees were able to win the division, and they won it handily, giving themselves a first-round bye in the postseason and a good year for John Sterling.
The Yankees win!
All right, on to the postseason. Game 1 of the American League Division Series began on a low note. Yankees found out that Scott Effross was going to miss the remainder of the season with Tommy John surgery, but Harrison Bader got the crowd into it with a game-tying solo home run in the bottom of the third. That was his first home run as a Yankee, really gets the legs into it. Another look, crowd was absolutely berserker, and that got the Yankees going. Garrett Cole was going. He had the breaking ball working with the strikeout right there of Naylor. Another one in the dirt, another one down low, and he really had it going. He gave up a solo home run to Kwan, but otherwise 8 strikeouts and looked really good. And Anthony Rizzo hit his second postseason home run as a Yankee. He homered in the 2021 wildcard game. Yankees take game 1 4-1.
I thought Garrett was really good. I thought his breaking ball was really good. I thought he was unpredictable. I thought he did a good job of mixing pitches.
After a rainstorm forced the postponement of Game 2, Giancarlo Stanton got things started for the Yankees with a 2-run home run to put the Yanks out front. But the Guardians fought back, and the Yankees kind of depleted their bullpen. Aaron Judge went 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts, making him 0 for 8 with 7 strikeouts in the series. And the Guardians took Game 2 to tie the series at 1.
Oh, they got, good starting rotation, great bullpen, guys that, they got nasty stuff down there, can run with the velo a little bit.
We know it's a big game. Every game's big. We would have liked to have this one today, but now we got to go in their house and take one.
That's another base hit.
He'll dump it in front of Aaron Judge in right field. The youngster Arias scores the second run for the Guardians.
Here's a drive to left center field and deep, and this ball is going to leave the yard. Well, it had to happen eventually. A drive to deep right, and this ball puts the Yankees in front. Bader. It's a high drive to deep left field. This ball is on its way. This ball is gone. To the Guardians, Miles Straw in the air to left. In comes Cabrera, and he won't get there. That looks like a base hit. It drops in front of Cabrera. There's a base hit. A little bloop on the infield, but it's going to drop for a base hit. Two. Hit up the middle, a base hit. The tying run is scored. Here comes Rosario with the winning run. And it's pandemonium.
You know, credit to them. They put in play in that inning. We got to turn the page.
Toughest loss of the year for the Yankees for sure. And one thing I found interesting was after the game, Aaron Boone said that Clay Holmes was hurt and was only available in an emergency. But Clay Holmes told the media he was fine. Seems like kind of a big communication problem, if you ask me.
Where was Clay Holmes? Was he hurt?
They have their best pitcher going tomorrow. The guy makes $36 million. You even it up, and then you roll the dice in Game 5.
All right, ALDS Game 4 in Cleveland. Do or die for the Yanks. And Harrison Bader played the hero for the Yankees early on with his third home run of the series. Third home run as a Yankee. But Garrett Cole was the story. He tossed 7 innings of 2-run baseball, had one of his more dominant outings in a do-or-die game in his career, and handed the Yankees their second win of the series to even things at 2 games apiece.
You know, he used everything again tonight. I thought he was very much under control, you know, commanded his emotions well.
Yankees caught a break. There was a rain out that postponed Game 5 and allowed manager Aaron Boone to roll with Nestor Cortez on 3 days rest in Game 5.
A drive to right center field. Back near the wall and gone.
Great plate coverage. That ball might be on the outside part.
Nestor Cortez Jr. And a called strike 3. He strikes out Jimenez. High fly ball, right field and deep. Back near the wall is Gonzalez. It's gone. Chopper to first. Rizzo has it. He'll race to the bag himself. He dives and gets there ahead of Jimenez. In right field, it's Judge. The Guardians go in order. Struck him out. Bouncing ball to the right side. Rizzo ranges to his right. Holmes covers. The 3-2. Swung on and missed. At shortstop, Kiner Falefa. The flip to Torres. And the Yankees move on, and look at Torres mocking Naylor.
I mean, I thought we did a great job this series. We had our backs up against the wall, and we found a way to perform.
And that set up the rematch with the Houston Astros in the American League Championship Series. Astros dominated the Yankees during the regular season, including no-hitting them, and the Yankees had to face Verlander in Game 1. Things actually got off to a decent start for the Yankees. Harrison Bader hit his 4th home run of the postseason, a 411-foot shot, but Justin Verlander had it going on. He was dominating. He struck out 11. The Yankees struck out 17 times overall. Questionable move to go to Clark Schmidt in a tie game in the bottom of the 6th, and he got hammered, essentially. Back-to-back home runs, and the Astros take Game 1. Game 2 was all about Framber Valdez, who was dominating. He gets a lot of ground balls. He had the sinker working, but he also had the curveball working. Yankees struck out 13 more times in this game, bringing their tally to 30 through the first 2 games of the series. And Alex Bregman did the bulk of the damage on offense with a 3-run home run. Inside fastball, 97 miles an hour. He just got the bat to it. Nice piece of hitting. But the Yankees drop Game 2, 3-2.
They were 16th in baseball this year in strikeout percentage, 22.5%. This series, they're striking out 42.9%. That's why you're losing.
We got to score, and they're about as tough as there is to score against.
Surprised he wasn't talking about the misplacement on the Bregman fastball. He was talking about the exit velo.
Louis, I mean, you pitched great, but you can't tell me the exit velo on the home run was 91. Come on.
All right, on to ALCS Game 3, and it was more of the same. Despite pretty good stuff from Garrett Cole early on, there was a misplay in right center field in which Harrison Bader dropped kind of a routine fly ball. You can see Judge kind of cuts in front of him. That shouldn't happen. Next batter, though, takes advantage, 2-run home run, and really that was the game. The Astros got a couple more on a base hit in the 6th. The Yankees got just 3 hits in the game. Astros take Game 3. Nestor Cortez got the start in Game 4. He would not last long. He had some groin issues. Yankees actually came out swinging in first. Harrison Bader had a base hit up the middle. Giancarlo Stanton with a nice piece of hitting to right field. That scored the first run of the game. Yankees went out front. Gleyber Torres popped one up. It drops in there. Wind knocked it down. That allowed the second run to score. And the Yankees were looking good. Nestor Cortez dealing in the second. A little later on, IKF ropes one down the right field line. He ends up on second, and he would come in to score on this base hit down the left field line by Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo ends up on second with a double. And Nestor Cortez gave it right back. Found out that he was pitching with a groin injury. The Yankees staff had come out earlier in the inning to check on him. He decided to stay in the game. And after that, the Astros took the lead. Alvarez with the double down the right field line. Base hit by Gurriel. He's just killed the Yankees over the years. And then Harrison Bader ropes one up the middle in the bottom of the 4th. Yankees get another run off the bat of Anthony Rizzo, second ribby of the night. And that tied things up at 4. Bader was not done. Takes this one to left field into the seats, his 5th home run of the postseason. But the Astros battle back. Routine double play here, and Gleyber flips it. IKF can't handle it. And the Astros take advantage of the error. Alvarez with the base hit and the RBI. And then later on in the inning, Alex Bregman singles to right field. And that ended up being the fatal blow on the Yankees season. All right, so let's talk about the year-end roster as we head into the offseason. I've highlighted the position players that are free agents. Anthony Rizzo has an asterisk because he's got a player option. Marwin Gonzalez, unlikely to come back. Matt Carpenter, you'd like to have him back, but we'll see. Aaron Judge, obviously your top priority. Tim LeCastro was on a 1-year deal. And Andrew Benintendi is a free agent. Will be interesting to see if he comes back. He was a nice fit. DJ LeMahieu is coming back. Gleyber Torres is still under contract. You've got some young guys, Peraza, Cabrera, kind of a logjam in the infield. And the outfield obviously is pretty good with Judge and Bader right now. If you bring Andrew Benintendi back, that's a really solid outfield. And Giancarlo Stanton at your DH position, you'd like to get him more opportunities in the outfield, but he's had trouble staying healthy. All right, let's talk about the pitching staff, which was somewhat hampered by injuries. They were completely ravaged by injuries in the second half. Garrett Cole, though, solid, healthy, 3.5-ish ERA, a lot of strikeouts. That's what you're going to get from him. Nestor Cortez had a career year. I think he can duplicate it. I think he can stay healthy. He's not a guy who puts a ton of stress on his arm. Luis Severino had some injury issues, but again, they don't seem as serious as the amount of time that he was out. He wanted to come right back, and the stuff was sharp when he came back. Frankie Montas was acquired at the deadline for pretty much all of the Yankees' top pitching depth, and he was awful, as we mentioned, and he was injured. It'll be interesting to see how he bounces back or if the Yankees deal him. I could see them dealing him because it just didn't seem like a good fit. Gave me Sonny Gray or Jeff Weaver vibes. Jameson Taillon is a free agent. Be interesting to see if the Yankees bring him back. Domingo Germán, I feel like, could be in the rotation next year. He was solid down the stretch. Clark Schmidt was a swingman, pitched out of the bullpen and the rotation. And the bullpen, we lost some key figures. We lost Efros for all of next season. Michael King was injured this year. He should be back next year. I think Loaizaga is going to bounce back. Marinaccio looks like the real deal. So the Yankees do have some solid pitching, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to bolster that bullpen with some free agents or some trades. As far as the Yankees free agents go, Aaron Judge is the big name. Hopefully the Yankees will re-sign him. The entire fan base wants him to come back. I mean, he's an amazing player. He's the face of the organization. one of the faces of Major League Baseball. And frankly, I don't know what I would do if he signed elsewhere. I would probably lock myself in my room and turn off all the lights and just cry for a couple of weeks. It would be not what you want, to borrow a phrase from Joe Girardi. Also a free agent is Aroldis Chapman. He will not be back. He kind of had a falling out with the Yankees before the postseason. Zach Britton coming back off an injury. Didn't show much down the stretch. They wanted to get a look at him. I think he's going to depart. Luis Severino has the club option, but it's at a team-friendly rate, so I would expect him to come back. Anthony Rizzo has a player option. Again, I would expect him to come back. He's going to be paid well. He's had some back issues, and that could hamper his price on the open market. Plus, the Yankees don't really have any other backup first baseman options. Benintendi, at just 28 years old, might want a $100 million contract. I think you could probably get him for 5 years and maybe 85 to 90 million. If you can do that, I think it's a nice move. Although with the emergence of Oswaldo Cabrera as an elite defender, the Yankees are going to have to do some serious evaluating as to whether or not they think he'll be able to hit at Benintendi's level. He is a switch hitter. Benintendi only hits left-handed. Jamison Tyone is a free agent. I just said a minute ago that I think the Yankees will let him go, but that's more of a financial thing. I think he's going to want a $100 million contract. He had a nice year, sub-4 ERA. I believe he was 14-5. Maybe the Yankees bring him back, but it would have to be on a team-friendly contract. Green is in all likelihood out for all of next season. Wouldn't expect him to be back unless it's on one of those 2-year deals in which he's not going to pitch in the first season. Castro could be back. The Yankees like his stuff. Carpenter, you'd certainly like to have back. And Marwin Gonzalez is almost certainly going to leave via free agency or retire. All right, let's take a look at the top 10 prospects according to Major League Baseball Pipeline. We've seen a few of these guys this season. We saw Oswald Peraza come up late in the season. He is the Yankees' number 3 prospect. I think he is legit. I agree with Paul O'Neill when he said that he could be a 20 home run and 20 stolen base guy. The way that he picks it at shortstop and the way he sprays the ball all over the ballpark, I think he could be a plus defender and also hit 280 with some decent power and speed. So he's somebody to keep an eye on. Anthony Volpe looks like he's almost ready. He was in AAA at the end of the season. Jason Dominguez, the Martian, really elevated his status late in the year. He ended up at AA and then had a monster AA championship series. Austin Wells, the defense probably needs some work, but his bat is legitimate. One thing you'll notice is that the Yankees don't have a lot of pitching prospects near the top end of this list. So if they make any moves, you could see them trying to get some pitching back in return. Clayton Beeter was the guy that they got for Joey Gallo, and he really turned it on after coming to the Yankees. Luis Gil, we've seen that he is the real deal when he's healthy, but he had Tommy John surgery, and he's going to miss most of the season. I wouldn't expect to see him healthy until 2024. Spencer Jones is somebody you need to keep an eye on. He was the Yankees' top draft pick this year. He's 6'7" and left-handed, and he could be insurance if Aaron Judge leaves. He'll probably never be Aaron Judge. I mean, it's very, very unlikely he'll ever put up those kind of numbers, but he could be a dangerous bat with his size and left-handed swing at Yankee Stadium. All right, let's talk a little bit about free agent and trade targets. First of all, shout out to Ryan Garcia of Fireside Yankees for collaborating with me on this research. Obviously, Aaron Judge is the Yankees' top priority. Brian Cashman has said as much. He's going to get the bag, man. He's going to get probably $350 to $450 million. It's going to be the biggest contract in Yankees history if the Yankees sign him, but there's a non-zero chance that he could end up somewhere else. The Giants are going to be interested. The Dodgers are always interested in the big-name players. And obviously the New York Mets, with their boatload of cash from Stephen Cohen, are going to be players. Also, Carlos Rodon, he was a free agent before the season. The Yankees were interested, but they stayed away because they wanted to see how his health came together after a year in which he kind of wore down in August. He did put up very good StatCast numbers once again, and he could be somebody that could be effective in Yankee Stadium. Got a good fastball. Edwin Diaz is a free agent. He's a closer. Now, typically the Yankees don't like to pay a lot of money for relief pitchers anymore. We've had some bad contracts. You see Brian Cashman go out and get younger type of players to try and fit them in the bullpen. Guys like Scott Efros, but he's going to be out for the whole season. So I could see them anteing up and trying to get somebody like Edwin Diaz. Jacob deGrom also expected to opt out. Obviously got some of the filthiest stuff in Major League Baseball, but he's pushing the limits of what is humanly possible. And so his arm tends to be on the shelf for at least a few weeks out of every season, if not a few months. Zach Eflin is a relief pitcher. He spent the year with the Phillies. His velocity went up this year, and his strikeout rate went up. There is some interest in him as a starting pitcher. You could definitely see him end up as a starter, but he's also somebody who might be able to help out the bullpen. Trey Turner is a free agent. I don't see that as a major possibility because the Yankees have a logjam of infielders already. Same goes for Nolan Arenado, but don't be surprised if the Yankees get creative. Now, we mentioned that Anthony Rizzo has an opt-out. I still doubt that he's going to opt out, but if he does, Josh Bell could be somebody that the Yankees consider. He's a switch hitter. He's got power. He was good for the first part of the season, kind of struggled in the second half. Matt Carpenter, Yankees free agent. He's going to get some offers because of how well he played. He's put himself in a good position. I don't know if he's going to want to compete for at-bats with Giancarlo Stanton, but I would love to have him back. Same goes for Jock Peterson. He's a guy who really belongs as a DH. Got a ton of power. He was an offensive menace, but defensively he could certainly use some improvement. And Michael Conforto did not sign last winter and then missed the entire season with an injury. He could be somebody who bounces back into form. He's a left-handed hitter. He would fit New York nicely. These are just some of the names. There's a lot of free agents, and Brian Cashman likes to surprise us here and there. So we'll see how it shakes out. Let me know in the comments who you want the Yankees to pick up in free agency, other than obviously Aaron Judge, who should be the Yankees' top priority. As far as trades go, there's really one name that I keep seeing over and over again, and that is Shohei Ohtani. He's definitely going to be talked about a lot this winter. He's a guy who wants to win. He's said so, but he's on a team that really doesn't seem like they're close to winning. Ohtani probably would be weary of coming to the East Coast. He didn't want to sign with an East Coast team. But if Judge departs, expect the Yankees to at least give it a go. There are going to be a lot of fans out there that are going to want Aaron Boone dismissed. He just signed a 3-year deal. He took a team that was not expected necessarily to win the division, and they won 99 games, but it's all about the postseason for the Yankees. And unfortunately, they had another early exit. You can blame injuries all you want, but injuries don't tell the media one thing when a player tells the media the other. I'm referring to Clay Holmes, that debacle during ALDS Game 3. And the fact is, 2 different players, Joey Gallo and Aroldis Chapman, both quit on this team this year. That has to fall on management at some level. You don't see players quitting on Kevin Cash or some of the other great managers around Major League Baseball. So I think you really do have to take a look at the leadership. You also have to take a look at the roster construction, which means giving a look at Brian Cashman. Now, Brian Cashman is not signed next year as the GM that we know about. As of the time of this video, it's possible, I guess, that they have negotiated a contract behind the scenes and they're just waiting till after the season to announce it. But I think you need to take a look at both the GM and the manager. Let me know in the comments how you feel.
Half-assed autopsy. Postmortem.
All right, let's talk about the official autopsy report. Let's see if we can nail down a cause of death or causes of death for this 2022 Yankees team. Obviously, injuries were a big deal. We talked about Mike King. He ate up so many valuable innings that it affected the entire pitching staff when he went down. You trade for Andrew Benintendi, and he gets injured. DJ LeMahieu, one of your best contact threats at the plate, gets injured. Not having those guys for the postseason caused the strikeouts to be a big, big factor. You also had some bad luck. I mean, there were some balls during the Guardians series that dropped in that maybe if they were caught, maybe you finish off the Guardians a day early, and then you don't have to be into town late. You can have a little bit of preparation against the Astros. Not that it would have mattered with strikeouts. But you also had some bad apples. Joey Gallo quit on this team a week before he was traded. He stopped shaving. He cleaned out his locker before he was even dealt. And then Aroldis Chapman didn't show up for a pre-playoffs workout. We talked about that. Very selfish. Yankees need to do a better job of evaluating the personalities of the people they bring in. And there was some odd roster construction. The Yankees refused to use Oswald Peraza at shortstop, even though it was clear that IKF was struggling to adapt to the position. And it was clear that Oswald Peraza was ready in the minor leagues. And I honestly think that the Yankees should listen to their fan base a little more. You know, when we're ready to see the young guys, we're tired of watching the Joey Gallos and the Aaron Hickses cost us games. You know, give some of the younger kids a shot, and then maybe they're ready when you need them in the postseason. But overall, I did have a lot of fun this season. We got to see Judge hit 62 home runs. We got to see the strikeout record of Ron Guidry fall to Garrett Cole. Yankees had more than a dozen walk-off victories. We got to see 2 rounds of the playoffs in the Bronx, and that's after not having a home playoff game since 2019. Was the year a success by the measurement of the fans who measure everything on championship or not? No, it was not a success. But was it fun? I definitely had a lot of fun. I hope that you had a lot of fun. And now we turn the page and we start thinking about 2023 and how to help this team get over the top. And one more thing, I know this video was kind of a bummer. I did put together a video that is more uplifting if you want to watch that to kind of balance out your day. It's called Chasing History. It's about Aaron Judge, and it chronicles his 62 home run season and some of the pressure that he faced and how it echoed that Roger Maris faced in 1961. Here's a quick trailer. Enjoy.
I imagine after all this is over, somebody may write a story or two. Month long, day in and day out, excruciating pressure. There's one, what are you doing? Excruciating pressure. Number 60.
That's going to bring up Judge.
Swung on and hit in the end and deep left.
And you talk about responding to pressure.
This is the place where he wants to hit 61.
Story really would have written itself for Aaron Judge here tonight, wouldn't it?
And here comes Judge.